Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a late edition of Wednesday evening happy hour with Back to Basics Dog Training. I apologize, we're having some technical difficulties over here. So anybody who's been waiting for me to get online, I'm online now. I don't know what the hell is going on with this computer, but welcome to 2020. So again, I apologize about the late start. We're about 7 minutes late waiting for this computer to get going here. So good evening, good evening, good evening. Um, so um, as always, anybody who's followed me on my Facebook Live, um, this is our YouTube Live, which we're going to do every Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to talk to the people that come on and watch this in the replay. Guys, if you watch this on replay, please type your questions in. You can type them in afterwards. Good morning, Nancy. How are you today? Good evening. Excuse me. Type your questions in, even if you're watching this on the replay, because it is so much better that you ask your questions. I'll answer them afterwards. I can answer them right on the via YouTube. I definitely will be happy to answer any and all questions that are there out in the public for me. So definitely put the comments out there. Remember, if you're liking this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it with your friends, smash the like button, love button, whatever, and bring your comments in. Good evening, Jennifer, Danny. How is everything? How's Braden going? I know we're going to set up another session shortly. I'm excited to help you there. So tonight's main conversation. Oh, for the people that are watching, hi, Jill. How are you? And Mikey. Because of the computer difficulties I'm having, let me just know if this is streaming okay. It seems like everything is lagging to me tonight. Just let me know how it's coming out, if it's coming out clear, that I'm not jumping all over the place here. So tonight we're going to start the conversation while I'm waiting for questions on different training methods. I'm on Facebook quite often. I watch all the different posts for all the different groups out there, and people ask for trainer. All good. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. People ask all the time about training, and I see a lot of comments come up. Make sure you only use a positive reward trainer. Make sure you only use a force-free trainer. Make sure you do this. Use a veterinarian behaviorist trainer. Don't, and so there's a lot of different methodologies out there of training, and I think it gets confusing for the average dog person because then they don't know what to do. There's different, I do private one-on-one sessions. There's group training. There's board and trains. There's a lot of different training things out there. And again, one of the reasons I started doing these live events on here on Wednesday evenings on YouTube and my Saturday morning live on Facebook is to be transparent, to put it out there, to be real. Guys, anybody who's watched any of my videos on YouTube, the one thing I'm proud of and I constantly say to people is I do not watch my videos. I videotape them and I post them. I try to be as real can be with you guys because that's what we are. We're real. We're humans. We're real. We need to know the good, the bad, the ugly. So anybody who's had me in their homes for private sessions know that about me. I'm very blunt. I'm to the point. I tell you how I see it, and this is what we're going to do. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't like when people sugarcoat things to me, so I'm not going to sugarcoat them to you guys. So we got all these different training methodologies out there, and I am not going to say one is better than the other. I'm not going to say mine's the best. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Hello, Michelle and Athena. Good evening. How's our girl doing? I know we spoke a little bit Saturday via the live chat. Let me know how it's been going. So the different training methodologies out here, you got positive rewards, you got force free, you got veterinarian behaviorists, and you have me, a balanced trainer. Here's what I'm going to tell you the differences. A force-free trainer will not do, from what I've seen and read and watched videos, don't believe in doing a corrective measure for an unwanted behavior. What do I mean by that? Dog is overly excited, jumping at the front door, jumping on your guest. Give it a treat. How about no? You know, dogs discipline each other. There's nothing wrong with discipline or corrective behavior, correction modification to teach them how to turn no's into yeses. You got the force-free trainers, which honestly, guys, I don't understand, because if you're telling me you're force-free, that means you're never going to force the dog to do something. To Well, if I put a dog on a leash to walk the dog, I'm forcing it to do something. If I tell the dog to sit, I'm forcing it to do something. So I'm totally confused with force-free. So I don't even want to get into that. So basically, what it is me as a balanced trainer. I look at every way of training a dog. And like I've told people, I don't really train dogs, I train humans. And it's understanding the dog's psychology, looking at what the dog is doing, coming up with a solution that works best for the dog and the humans involved with the dogs. So if that's about positive reward when positive reward is necessary, absolutely. We're going to do that. If it's about discipline measures, disciplinary action, whatever words we want to put on a correction modification, we're going to do that too. Anybody who's used me, Jennifer, I know I've been at your house. I know Jill, I've been at your house. Michelle, I've been at your house. I don't know who else is on there right now. Anybody who's used me understands the one thing I preach is any of my disciplinary actions, my corrective modifications, will never hurt or scare your dog. And I don't care what tools I use, be it a simple slip leash, a martingale collar, a remote collar, a stimulus collar, a prong collar. They're never going to hurt or scare the dog if the corrections are done properly, timed properly. Michelle, we had a good example with Michelle's house. We used a remote collar, a stimulus collar with Athena, because there were some really unwanted behaviors of Athena jumping on people to get her way and using her mouth to be very bossy. And, she's a big girl. And when she uses her mouth, it hurts. Or if she jumps on your back, it hurts. She's a big girl. So we were able to do it. And within a very short period of time, me being there, I think I was only at the house for 2 hours, is we were able to start correcting some of those no's and turning them to yeses, which was beautiful. Jennifer says Braden growls even after corrected several times when woken up. Should we just move the clothes to the different dresser? What? Danny says that's nuts. It seems it's easier to fix me. He woke up at 3 a.m. every day. I'm not sure what we're asking about there. He growls even after corrected several times when woken up. I'm assuming that I don't know what the clothes have to do with that. So if you can elaborate a little bit more, he's woken up at 3 a.m. every day. Is he waking up at 3 a.m. to go to because he has to go out, or is he just being a pain in the ass? Clothes dresser is right next to his bed. Move his bed, don't move the clothes. I wouldn't move the clothes. Oh, Danny goes to work. Okay, so when Danny wakes up, Braden's waking up as well. Reality is, guys, dogs need their sleeps, and like us, if we get up and we don't want to, we're cranky. It also does startle them. Remember, dogs are wild animals by nature. Being woken up when they're sleeping and growling and snapping could be a protective instinct to themselves. It's survival. I always relate it when and if I ever do get into a deep, deep sleep when my kids were younger, if they came into my room and startled me awake, my first reaction is to come up swinging. Not saying it's the right thing or the wrong thing, but I can definitely relate to it. I wouldn't move the clothes or the dresser. I'd move the dog's bed. Or the dog doesn't have the privilege to be in the room. I know we talked about doing crate work with Braden. I don't know how that's going. There's no reason why he can't be crated at night when you guys are sleeping. He's relatively new in your home, so he should earn that privilege to be in the bedrooms anyway. And right now he hasn't, in my opinion, hasn't earned the privilege. I know we're going to move forward with the training. But I wouldn't use a stimulus collar on him when he's sleeping. Even when he first wakes up, I don't think it's fair. Let him get his bearings. He doesn't like to be alone. He cries. Let him cry. You got to work him into it. Guys, he may not like being alone. I know Brandon went through a lot growing before you got him. It was definitely malnutrition, if I remember correctly. So there was some sort of abuse going on there. Um, you need to set the rules. He needs to be in a crate. He needs to be in the crate. That's what it's got to be. If he cries, he cries. I know it's more annoying to the humans. You could try covering the crate with a blanket or something, as long as he can't pull it in and get hurt. Choke on it. But then start putting him in the crate when you're at home, when you're not going to bed. So don't just put him in the crate and disappear on him. Put him in the crate while you're watching TV. Make it so the crate is just part of everyday life. Again, I use Duke as the example a lot of the times. Duke did not like the crate when I first got him here. Duke now, from what I've been told from his new parents, pretty much by 9 o'clock at night, puts himself in the crate and goes to bed. Because I associate the crate with a positive, and how I did that is the first 2 weeks he stayed in his crate pretty much 24/7. Third, fourth week he stayed in the crate with me up in the living room. The first 2 weeks he was in my basement, pretty much alone, except for when I went down there to work with him, feed him, take him out, whatever. But he was in the crate, and then after the 2 weeks, I brought the crate upstairs, and he was upstairs. But the first week, he was in the crate, even though we were about in the house. So we understood, being in the crate, even when people are around, is not necessarily a bad thing. And I've had other dogs in the house, and they were free. And then, when I stopped putting him in the crate more often than not, he was still put in the crate as if I went to work during the day. There was a whole routine I worked with him. And what he ended up doing is he loves his crate now, and he goes in and he puts himself to bed every night about 9 o'clock. Because we associated the crate with a positive. So if you're having a problem with him associating the crate with a negative, yes, this is a time I would say, if he's food motivated, use treats, and give him treats when he goes into the crate. Give him treats when you invite him out of the crate, but make the crate a good place. Should be no different than when I say, when I go to my room's a good place. But you have to desensitize him to him, and you can't feel bad when he cries in the crate, because again, another dog isn't going to feel bad for him, guys. If I always say to people, three-legged dogs, we feel bad for them. Watch other dogs interact with a three-legged dog. They don't look at it that way. They play just as rough as they had four legs. So, we have to stop humanizing, for lack of better terms, what we're seeing. Yes, he cries because he's probably got used to, if I cry in the crate or when I'm left alone, I get what I want. I know we talked about some of the separation anxiety when I was there, but it's a matter of just putting him into those situations and realizing he's not going to get his way. Athena is doing much better with the e-collar. It's still difficult handling her outside by the fence, but we're working on it. She has gotten much easier to handle, and that's it. I tell people all the time, none of what I talk about that I can is going to be an overnight success. Rome wasn't built in a day. But what you want to do is every day win that little battle to eventually you win the war. You can't win the war without winning the little battles. So I know with Athena, in her case, it's that corner by the shed and the fence over there where the other dog is in the other yard. That was a problem. So we started creating a boundary there. Hopefully you guys are continuing that. Even when the other dog's not out there, she shouldn't be allowed in that corner. So we want to create that corner as off limits. It's a neutral zone. To hopefully stop the jumping on the fence, and stop that nonsense with the neighbor's dog. The big thing is if you and Rob take her out and she does her business and you want to continue walking the yard and not bring her right in, is she accepting that better? Because that was the big issue we had when I was there. That would be my question. How's that part going? But you're going to slowly, you pick one thing, guys. I can tell you now, I've gone to homes where people have given me a list of 1,000 things their dogs are doing. And then I say prioritize it. Pick the one thing you need to fix. Because you can't fix 100 things, because you got to win the little battles to win the war. You pick one thing, master the one thing, move on to the second thing. Usually by the time you get done with 2 or 3 of those things on the list, the other 97 drop off, because the dog understands there's rules, there's boundaries, there's limitations. And they're like, well, you know what? These were the big things and I still can't do it. So why should I try it on these little things? It's constant work. It's constant. If you guys stay consistent, this process moves along a lot quicker. How quick? I don't know. Every dog's an individual. But you will see a huge, huge change in the dog. I do honestly believe that if everybody can master the walk with their dogs, that means you are controlling. If you walk for an hour, yes, much better. She is beginning to learn from the collar and doesn't always need reminders. Beautiful. And the reminder is just that. It's like when we teach our kids something, you teach them 100 times how to clean a dish, how to clean their room, how to spell the word cat. You do it 100 times until they get it. Whatever it takes, we're going to do. The object is not to make so many corrective behaviors and to eventually make no corrective behaviors. And then you're going to be like one day, holy crap, I got a great dog. Look at this. She peed, she pooped, and I can walk inside or walk around the outside, and she's not trying to drag me back into the house. That's the object. He does so much better on his walks, but inside he growls. We correct, he growls lower. We correct again. It goes on a lot like that. He wants the last word. And that's where your energy is going to make the difference. Jennifer, I'm going to tell you now. How you fix that is your energy. You stand up tall. Remember, I told you guys, can't do a lot of corrective behaviors when we're sitting down. But when we're standing, we look a lot more powerful. You use your body language, your energy. Remember, he needs to understand that he's growling. He's communicating. That's what he's doing. He's not an aggressive dog. He's not a vicious dog. He is communicating. Athena's communicating. She communicates with her mouth. She communicates with her bark. But the calmer you stay and not let that growl get under your skin, and I know it's freaking annoying when your dog's growling at me. How dare you? It's like our kids back talking us. And as humans, we get pissed, and you really can't. You got to just stay chill. Stay chill. Namaste. Ooh, smoke a joint, whatever. Relax. Calm yourself down and don't say a word. He's growling. Just sit there with your body language and energy. Then when he stops growling, good. Because what are you praising? You're praising not the growling. Because remember, if he's growling, you're constantly, no, shut up, cut it out, whatever we're doing. Negative attention is still attention. So you're better off staying quiet. And again, I'm going to go back to my Dookie, who tested me a few times in my house. And his big thing was he resource guarded furniture. Once he was on furniture, you asked him to get off. He said, screw you, basically. So one day he got on my lawn chair out of my deck, and I missed it. He was up there, curled up in his little ball, nicey comfortable. And I walked over and I said, off. And normally he would listen, but this day he decided to challenge me. I got that sideways look, the death look, I call it, and with the little lip curling, so I saw his teeth, try to be tough guy. I had other dogs here at the time. I brought all the other dogs inside because if, God forbid, he made a mistake and came towards me, I didn't want another dog to come to my defense. I grabbed his slip leash and I walked over and I said, off again. And that was the last time I said that for about 2 minutes. And I stood there while he did all his, and I focused on me breathing, me relaxing. I stared him down basically, and I waited him out. And then once I saw he kind of relaxed a little bit, I said, off again. And he kind of turned his gaze where he wasn't making that direct eye contact with me. And he kind of submitted a little bit to me. So I took a step back and repeated my off command. And he got off and he was happy because he was like, did I do good? Did I do good? And it worked. I didn't have to say a lot. I think the biggest problem we have is when dogs growl at us, we tend to over talk it. No, stop growling, cut it out, blah, 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 blah. And that just jacks them up even more because think about your energy. So you're better off not saying as much, keep your mouth shut, calm yourself down. When we correct her with the e-collar, it's just no, or do we praise her after the behavior is corrected? When you use the e-collar for correction measure, it's no. Then when you get the behavior, yes, because you want her to understand she's turning that no into a yes, and the yes is a better energy. So wait him out is better. Okay, I stay calm and say no, but it's a back and forth. Yeah, just wait him out. Wait him out. It's a patience game. Guys, I can't tell you. I stood there, like I said, it was about 2 minutes for Duke. before he got off the lounge chair on the deck. And then the next couple times in the house, he made mistakes. He jumped up on my chair or whatever he made the mistake on, and he got himself comfortable. I said off. He got off so much quicker. The second time maybe took me about a minute. The third time maybe took me about 25 seconds. And after that, it was no time. Just get the hell off. Because he got the reward from the no. We turn that no into a yes. And that's the crucial part. You wait them out. You get the results you want. You praise. You praise, you praise, you praise. Don't go too excited because excitement can create another problem. But honestly, I talk about energy all the time. There's a hell of a lot difference, even if I'm calm. Me saying no, my energy is saying one thing. But when I say yes, I don't even think I can say it without a smile on my face. My energy changes to I'm happy. Dogs understand that. That's why I say we don't need the words. Really, you don't need to say yes or good boy or anything like that because your energy is going to change when the dog does what you want, and they're going to read that. If that makes sense. Let me know if this stuff makes sense, guys. And remember, if you're watching this later on the replay, you still could type your questions in. Subscribe to the channel. There should be something that comes up on the replay that lets you know that you can click here to subscribe. I don't even know how this works. I'm still trying to figure out YouTube. I need to get some help with this YouTube thing. These thumbnails are driving me nuts. But yeah, the calmer you stay, the quicker this goes. They're going to make mistakes. If they're going to make mistakes, don't get mad at them because you're not going to call me or be on here if you have a perfect dog. So we know the dogs that we're dealing with either on the live chats on Wednesday evening or Saturday mornings, or when I'm in your house, the dogs are making mistakes or unwanted behaviors. I don't even call, like I said, I don't call them bad behaviors. Bad behaviors are behaviors you know how to do. My kids know how to clean their room. If they don't clean their room, that's a bad behavior. I was going to actually have a beer tonight, but I didn't eat enough, so I didn't want to take a chance. I figured I'd make it a real happy hour. So again, I know and I hope Mikey and Jill are still on here. So we're going to talk about Archie a little bit. Archie is a 6-month-old lab, gold yellow lab. When I met him, he was high energy, happy-go-lucky. Poor Jill's arms looked like they were, training a police dog for the bite work without the arm sleeve on. I have one of the most rewarding jobs in the world, and I keep saying that. I went to Jill and Mikey's house on Monday, and I noticed the first thing I noticed when Jill opened the doors, her body language was different. She was more relaxed. She was smiling from ear to ear, and not just to see this freaking face. So I don't think that's what the smile was about. What it was is she couldn't wait to tell me the good news. And the good news is they took Archie up to Vermont, and Vermont, the town they were in, dog friendly. They took Archie with them. Archie behaved. People were telling her that this 6-month-old puppy was the best behaved dog. She had people coming over to her, and I'm going to let her tell you how good it made her feel. But as good as it made her feel and Mikey feel and Dad Mike feel, it made Leon, back to basics dog training, feel even better because it's working. Jill, you can tell me, tell our audience how you felt. I wish I can switch this to a live thing. That's why I keep telling people I want to do these Zoom things. I think that would be so much fun. Do another night where we just do Zoom. Archie is a different dog. It's better. It's been life-changing, and that's one of the things she said to me. It's changed her life. It changed their family life. It changed the dynamics. Guys, that's worth it to me. Yes, I need to get paid to do dog training, but I love what I do. And again, one night I had to handle Archie because he was just being a real scutch. But it changed their lives, and they're going to continue to work on it because they're starting to see the results. The results didn't come the first week. I wish I could have made it happen the first week. It didn't happen the second week, but we're about I think this was our third session on Monday, and we skipped a week in between. So the third and fourth week were Holy crap. I got to the house Monday night. Archie was out and about at the house, not locked up in his room. And he was excited to see me, was a gentleman to see me, laid down by my feet most of the section. Still tried to do some stuff, but he's a puppy. He's going to try to do some stuff, and that's okay. He's allowed. But when I said no or nope to him, because he was getting a little too antsy, he's like, okay. I think I had to make the whole 2 hours I was there, maybe one or two corrections, and they weren't even hard. Um, and yes, we're using a prong collar, but when I was there with him, we didn't have him on the prong. We had him on a regular martingale, and it was working. He needs it because he's a strong dog for the walk. It makes it easier for them. That's fine. Mikey is doing a phenomenal job with him. Mikey, I can't say it enough. Told you when you turn 18, look me up. You got a job. I love your energy. I just like everything about you, even your body language. When Archie was making a mistake, I saw your body language and you got it. Dude, be proud of yourself. Um, he's another shining star from Long Island, as far as I'm concerned. So with that being said, guys, look what's happening. It didn't happen overnight. Jill is that frantic, worrying, oh my God, overbearing sometimes. No offense, Jill. And Archie was taking advantage of her. Michelle, the same thing. Michelle, the one thing that I got key out of it, we actually haven't fought about the dog. Oh, look at this. Michelle says this about, I was just going to start about you and Rob. Michelle says that we actually haven't fought about the dog since you've been here, except for when I'm inconsistent or not using the e-collar when necessary. And that's what it's about, guys. I can't tell you how many houses I've walked into that I swear I'm a marriage counselor. Sucks. All because of a dog. And it's getting people on the same page. The key Michelle told me, and again, Michelle, I'm sorry if I'm picking on you right now, is when you were sick and unfortunately in the hospital, Rob said Athena was much better. So that tells you off the bat what's going on. It was like boom to me. I have big enough eyes, and my eyes popped out even bigger. It shouldn't be, even if Rob's watching. I don't know if he's watching me tonight. It's not about fighting when Michelle is not being inconsistent or using the e-collar when necessary. It's whatever. It's coaching, guiding, working together as a team, guys. The more we do this together, the better it is. Mikey says, thank you, Mikey. You're quite welcome. We are also mastering the walk. And I'm telling you guys, I've said this a million times about the walk. I'll say it a million more times. If you guys can master the walk, back to basic style, it's on this YouTube. Watch my video series. Watch it a million times. I don't care. I haven't seen it yet. So I'm going by what you guys tell me. It helps. It works. It does the job. If you guys can master the walk, that means if you have an hour walking your dog and you're in control for that whole hour, holy crap, so many of the unwanted behaviors disappear. I know that for a fact. You'll see the more you're doing it. I know, Jennifer, you're new to mastering the walk. We only talked about it I think it was a week or so ago. So, walking the dog the proper way. Hopefully you said you were watching my videos, which is great. If you master the walk and you guys stay consistent with the walk of Braden, you will see a lot of those unwanted behaviors inside the home do disappear because it's about leadership and structure. That's the walk. Oh, okay. Jennifer just said mastering the walk is amazing information. It's helped so much. It will, guys. You'll see. It may not be an overnight cure for Braden's growling, whatever, but you'll see it changing. You'll see that no with the growl may not last as long, because the more consistent we stay with doing things, especially mastering the walk, because it's about structure and leadership, they're going to understand you guys are pack leaders. And that's what this is about. And that's why I talk about body language and energy all the time. In the natural world of animals, don't care what animal it is, that are pack animals, pack leaders need to be calm and assertive. Period. End of discussion. You're not going to follow a lunatic. If you're in the army and you're following that general, and that general is angry all the time and not consistent with what he's telling you to do, you don't want to go into battle with this guy or a woman. I shouldn't say guy, but you don't want to do it. You don't want to follow that nonsense. You want to follow somebody who they're saying, we need to go here. We need to do it this way. We need to do it. Boom. Not, oh, well, we should do it this way. But if, you know what? You guys want to go off to the left, go ahead. But we really need to go to no. We're going to follow the leaders that are very calm and decisive with structure, with rules, with boundaries. That's what your dogs need from you. Not want, need. And I can't stress that enough. But you have to do it in a calm manner. If I'm walking the dog and I'm saying, you're not freaking gonna pull me, dog's gonna pull me. Or I'm gonna scare the crap out of it and it's not gonna want to follow me because it's scared of me. I don't want my dogs responding to me out of fear. That's why I get annoyed at these positive reward trainers and all these other training methodologies that trash balance trainers because they say the dogs are going to be afraid of me. Jill, is Archie afraid of me? You answer that question. Whoever's else out there that I've worked with their dogs, are their dogs afraid of me? Nope. I mean, you guys said you've seen it. It's not about them being afraid of me. I don't want anything in this world responding to me out of fear. I want them to respond to me because I'm being fair. Does that make sense, guys? It's a better way to look at things. The only time I want something to fear me in this life is if they're going to hurt my family or hurt. Right? No, he loves me. The only way I want something to fear me is, God forbid, they're going to do something to hurt my family or something like that. I'm going to put the fear of God into them. That's a different type of thing. But as a general rule, I don't want my kids growing up listening to me because they were afraid of me. I mean, I'm old school. I believe in discipline. I discipline my kids, never hurt or scared my kids. But the worst thing, I remember growing up, and the worst thing that we heard in my generation was, wait till your father comes home. And I've said this before. All we did is make our kids afraid of their fathers. Holy crap, daddy's coming home. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm going to get the belt. I'm going to get my ass kicked, whatever. Why do you want to put that fear into this kid? Why do I want to put a fear into the dog? Zoe follows me all over the place. Why? Because I'm always the same with her. I'm always that leader she needs. Sometimes it annoys my wife. That dog just is most of the time glued to my hip. We have 3 chairs in our living room. Zoe's allowed on the furniture when invited on. She 99% of the time wants to be on my chair. Even though my wife or my daughter may be inviting her up on their chairs, she wants to be with me. She comes up to bed when I go to bed. She doesn't go up before me. She waits for me, even though they're upstairs. Why? Because she knows she always gets the same thing from me. And I love Zoe to death. No doubt in my mind. But I have always been very consistent with her. It's about the leadership, and I'm always calm no matter what she does. When she makes a mistake, I teach her. And she still makes mistakes, guys. She's 7 years old. She still makes mistakes. And it's reinforcing some of the stuff I taught her earlier in her life. It's okay. She's allowed. So, again, what controls the Bradens, the Archies, the Athenas? Is my energy, that calm energy. No matter what you do, I'm not going to get mad. Athena's demand barking to go out even when she does not have to. And I'm hesitant to correct this because she may really have to go out. How do I correct this, or do I? That's a tough one. And it really is a tough one because you don't want to discourage them from letting you know they want to go out. I mean, that was one of the conversations we had about Archie. He's not letting them know. I would say almost use your better judgment on this one. And I have to do that because you should by this point know her schedule when she really needs to go out. If she's just doing it because because nobody's paying attention to her, then you have to make the correction because you're not correcting her doing that. You're correcting her being a demanding little pain in the ass. In her case, a big pain in the ass. I would make a correction. Um, I do it with Zoe. Zoe every so often goes to the back door and just like stares at the back door like she wants to go out. And I'm starting to realize all of a sudden this is something new with her. She doesn't. I open the door, she gets a breath of fresh air, and then she wants to go lay down again. So now I'm learning that when she needs to go out, and I know her schedule. I know when she really needs to go. Um, so when she's just standing by the door, if I let her out at say 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 10:30 she's by the back door, just staring at the back door, like I want to go out, I need to go out. I'm like, no, go lay down because I know she doesn't want it. Why should I have to get off the chair to let her out? Because I'll get up there and I'll open the door and she'll go, okay, I'm done. Let me go lay down again. So it's kind of being the same theory as what you're talking about. So because I know her schedule so well, I know when she doesn't need to go out. Today she actually fooled me. I didn't understand what she was doing. She was by the back door, and it ended up there was like a bunch of squirrels there, and she wanted to really go out, but she was so calm about it. I didn't even know that the squirrels were there. And next time I'm going to try to get that on videotape for you guys to put it on the YouTube channel because I want to show you how snap my finger can stop her even going after her arch enemy, the squirrel. But again, this is something I work on very hard with her constantly. I'm always testing her on different things. So yeah, that's a tough one, Michelle. I don't want to discourage it, but at the same time, I do want to discourage it. So if you know damn well she doesn't need to go out, it's not time. And that's why I try to tell people, try to get dogs on schedules. They have to go out at 8. They have to go out at, whatever time, they eat. You let them out first thing in the morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Now that we feed them, they have to go out, by 9 o'clock again. Then by then, they shouldn't have to go out till about 2, 3 o'clock or whatever we get home from work. Set the schedule. Don't let the dog set the schedule and become demanding. That's one of the reasons why when I teach potty training, I always say give treats outside. Never when they come inside because dogs realize they become very smart. I do this, you do this. I go out, I come in, I get a treat. Okay, I'm going to go in and out a million times. I'm going to bust you, just to get the treat. So, Joe, the one thing I did want to say about Archie is I did look it up, and it's supposedly 1 ounce of water for every pound or something like that, by the way, for the water consumption, which I still don't know if that's 100%. So I'm going to actually call my vet on this one and ask again because she had told me something different. But the rule of thumb I'm reading is 1 ounce for every pound. That's what I've heard throughout the day. Because I know, and puppies do tend to drink more water. But that's okay. So, I'll try to get a more definitive answer, but I did tell you I'd get back to you with an answer on that one. So I just want to make sure I do get back to you. So that's the answer I found out so far. But if you still having accidents in the house, if you're giving them, 16 ounces of water, cut it down to 14. See if that stops some of the accidents in the house. He's still a puppy. Again, I don't think you guys use the crate enough in my world. I do think you can recondition him to hold it longer, and he should. Remember, he's 6 months old, so he should be able to hold it at least 7 hours by this point. That's another rule of thumb that, if we had to come up with a rule of thumb, how long a dog can hold it, it's 1 hour more than the month they are. So if he's 6 months, he can hold it 7 hours. That's the rule of thumb. When they hit 24 months, doesn't mean they can hold it 25 hours, though. Don't get crazy on me. We've been practicing boundaries in the yard with the e-collar and getting her not to bark when crated. It's definitely working. Beautiful. That was one of the big problems. She'd bark and growl in the crate, Athena, and that's unacceptable. So, again, everybody looks at these e-collars, remote collar, stimulus collars, whatever you want to call it. I don't like the S collar word because the ones I saw are not that type of collar. If used properly, they're good tools, guys. If not abused, they're good. If not overused, they're good. It's knowing when to use it, timing it properly, and making sure when we stop the unwanted behavior, we praise the living crap out of them. I don't care. I'm not a big treat trainer. If you want to use treats when you stop the unwanted behavior, if you're using a remote collar, by all means use treats. Make it worth the time to be good. I don't care. Because if we're using the e-collar, there's a reason we're using it. We're not using it just for the hell of it. I don't train dogs for hunting purposes and I'm training it for them to go do something. I train dogs because they have behavioral issues. Would I use an e-collar to off-leash train a dog? Absolutely. But that's a dog I need to make sure is bulletproof on recall, knows its rules. E-collar doesn't teach anything. Let's get that clear. One of my customers said it best. The e-collar doesn't teach a dog a damn thing. You need to teach the dog what you want and reinforce the good behaviors with the e-collar. After that, you can start using it to correct unwanted behaviors. I know with Athena, we moved it a little faster than we should have, but we needed to. There was a difference. So again, master the walk, guys. I tell you, hopefully, Jill and all you people are telling your friends about my master in the walk thing. Videos, they're out there for a reason. They're out there to help. Like I said, I got to make some time to do some more videos that I think will be helpful for people. Unfortunately, time is something we don't have a lot of. But I will try to do some videos in the near future to help you guys. I definitely want to work on the place command. I want to show you how recall works. I know that was one of the things we had talked about. I just need to get the right dog to do the videotape. And then I was thinking of maybe doing some different type of things that we can help each other out. So with that being said, guys, I know there's a lot of different methodologies. Somebody may see Athena with the e-collar on or Archie with the prong on and whatever. People are going to have their opinions. Stay strong. I'm going to tell you now, Jill was not a big proponent of the prong collar. She called it the murder collar, and I laughed my ass off at her. And I forgot the word she used this week, but it's not a murder collar anymore. Jill, if you're still there, just tell me what you called it again, because I thought it was so freaking funny. I'm amazed I didn't remember it. Because she realized it doesn't hurt him. It's not hurting him, because as dog lovers, we're not going to allow these tools to hurt the dog. And they're quality tools. We're not buying, made in Taiwan crap. We're buying tools that are quality tools, or the tools I'm providing for you are quality tools, so they're not going to hurt your dog. And I've tested them. Guys. I've tested them on myself. I've tested the good boy collar. That's it. So the murder collar went to the good boy collar. Yay, we won. And it's not hurting them. And the thing is, here's what I'm going to tell you, and I've seen this with the e-collar. I've seen it with the prong collar as well. People have told me they put the e-collar on the dog or the prong, and the dog behaves as soon as it gets it on. Beautiful. Tool's doing its job. Don't even have to use it. I have a couple customers we did e-collar conditioning on. They say they put the e-collar on, the remote somewhere else in the house. They don't even have to have the remote anymore. And what I relate it to is when we put these different tools on the dog and they understand, okay, I have a new job. So I related to when I worked for corporate America. I used to wear a nice suit all the time, with the tie, and I looked really prim and proper, not with my hair like this or not, unshaven like this. The beauty of working for yourself. Definitely would never wear a hoodie or a t-shirt where I used to work. But when I had the suit on, I acted differently. When I'm in my jeans and my t-shirt, I acted differently because the suit was my uniform. So a lot of times those dogs will look at the e-collar or the prong collar because we're using them for training, that's their job. And dogs want jobs. They need jobs. We forget dogs should be working. Let them earn the damn food. So if you put the prong collar on or the e-collar on, your dog just behaves, win-win. What do we care? It worked. And that's where the difference is. They're not, would I say these tools are lifelong tools? No. But if I think I need it on the dog for life, I'll put it on the dog for life. Like I said, my daughter down in the Carolinas needs to use the prong collars to walk her dog so they heel at her side. Don't even think about it. They're happy dogs. I'm telling you now, those two goofballs are the happiest pit bull and huskies that there are. She can't walk them any other way. So to me, for her, the prong will be the lifelong tool for her dogs. That's okay. When I walk those dogs, I just use a slip leash or put a leash on the regular collar. They behave, but that's me. I can walk most dogs that way. But those dogs live with my daughter. So yes, it will be um, when we call the e-collar Athena's necklace and tell her she looks pretty, she definitely behaves better with it on, without us doing anything. Exactly. Because and here's how that happened. When I was there and she had that unwanted behavior jumping on Rob's back, that collar had relevance. With my nose, had relevance. And she's like, it's a different world. Oh crap, I'm on duty now. And that's great. Look at that as a positive. I can't tell you how many people think it's a negative. And Jill, I think you were one of them. You're like, well, I put the collar on, he behaves. And you had that look in your face like, oh my God. And I'm like, great. There's a reason. Give them a sense of purpose. Give them that job. That's okay. Come on. Reality is when I'm at home, yes, I'm working here. I work from my home and I do all that. But when I'm in my customers' houses, I feel so much better when I'm out working, not trying to figure out YouTube, not trying to figure out Facebook or YouTube, my GoPro camera to set up the videos at home. No. When do I feel the best? When I'm working and I'm doing my job. Same with the dogs. They want it. They need to have jobs. Like I said, when Zoe was a pup, every morning I'd walk her and then fed her. Why? She worked for her food. She had a job. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. Let's stop over analyzing it. Let's stop over humanizing them. That's why I use the KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. Stop overthinking it. Biggest mistake as humans we make, we overthink every freaking thing. You know, why is Braden growling at you? I don't know. Is he trying to be bossy? Probably. He thinks if I growl, I get my way. I know Athena thinks if she makes barks and uses her mouth, she gets her way. But guess what? We're slowly taking the power away from Athena in a calm manner. We let the tools do the yelling for us. I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. Do I have to be loud? Yes. But I can be loud without yelling. Because remember, if I yell, I'm angry. If I'm loud, I'm just trying to be heard. There's a huge difference in my world between yelling and being loud. I used to tell my kids that, your energy tells a lot. And, I could always, and I always use the same saying. My father did the same thing to me. There's a difference between me saying, and who do I see? Michelle was the last comment. So I'm going to be, good morning, Michelle, or good morning, Michelle. Same words, different meanings. Why? Because the energy behind that second one was, I'm pissed off at the world. You don't even have to talk to the dogs. You don't even have to tell her. I mean, it's great that you tell Athena she's pretty because she is a pretty girl, but you don't need to tell her. If you truly are happy or think she's pretty, she knows it. The words are for you. It makes you feel good. Like I always say, hugging and kissing a dog is for us. Makes us feel good. Don't get me wrong. I love hugging and kissing dogs. But that's for us. If they allow me to do it, I take advantage of it. If they don't allow me to do it, I don't take advantage of it. I've said this to people before. My Maddie girl, who I would trust with my life, God rest her soul, I would trust her to protect me. I think it's a defense mechanism. He was so abused that I think he growls to keep people away. He wants attention, but is so unsure. And okay, that was Jennifer, guys. And Jennifer, I'm going to hit on that, and that'll stop my Maddie story because when I talk about her, I get upset. It might be a defense mechanism. And that's why it's more important for you guys to stay calmer when she does it. Because what you're telling her is, I understand. Human therapists tell us all the time, and I can't say all the time because I don't know that many therapists, but I do know a few therapists. To us, how can I say this? Here, I'm going to use the saying I have. I hate the term irrational fear. So Braden's reaction to you guys who love him to death, That growling to protect himself is an irrational fear in the way the humans describe it. But here's why I hate the term irrational fear. If somebody's afraid of heights, it's an irrational fear to me because I'm not afraid of heights. But it's not an irrational fear because to them it's real. So how do you do it with it? This thing called empathy. So when somebody is feeling something, be it sadness, happiness, joy, anxiety, whatever, you know, last my daughter, we all know, has people know me. I talk about it, has very bad anxiety disorder. And the one thing I don't do when she's in that state of mind is tell her it's going to be okay. Because in her mind at that point, it's not. So why would I say that? So what I do instead is I hear what she's saying and I give empathy. I understand that, doing that report for school is very stressful. Let's work together. Let's figure out a different way to do it. I don't say it's going to be okay. Calm down. You'll be fine. You're academically a brilliant kid, and she is. You know, she knows all that crap. But what she doesn't want to hear right then is it's going to be okay. Because in her mind, it's not. Scott, um, our dog has free access to the yard 100% of the time. 95% of the time, he's good. 5% of the time, he uses an object in the room leading to the outside to pee. How do we break that 5% if we never catch him in the act? That's tough. How old's the dog? That'd be my first question. How old is the dog? Is it still a puppy stage? Free access to the yard 100% of the time. So you have like a doggy door, Um, so while I'm waiting for Scott, Jennifer, just getting back to this defense mechanism. Yeah, it's a real thing. He was abused. We know this. So the best thing to do is wait him out without saying a word, not trying to make him love you. Because that's what we try to do. Oh, but that was your past life, baby. I love you. I love you. When we get in their face and we do all this, and that just freaks them out. Guys, stop it. It freaks them out. I don't know how else to say it. Because they're unsure to begin with. Now we're in their face. And again, I'm going to use my daughter's anxiety. The worst thing anybody can do to anybody who has a child with anxiety or knows a person with anxiety is hover over them and get in their face when they're having an anxiety attack. You're better off stepping back. So when Braden's doing this, stay with him. Don't back away. Calmly, no, wait him out. And when he stops, good. Now we can discuss it like I do with my daughter, if that makes sense, guys. Because if you think about it, it's all the same. It's all the same. Our special needs children are the same as our special needs dogs. If you use the right energy and you let them communicate, because they're allowed to communicate. I've said this to people before. Growling does not mean aggression. It's communication. What is he saying? I'm unsure. Okay. When you're done, we're going to continue. I'm going to pet you. I'm going to praise you. I'm going to do whatever. But if we give into that growling and we start yelling and screaming, that's never going to fix it. Or we try to rationalize them. Buddy is 10 years. Yes, a doggy door, a full. Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like doggy doors, by the way. 10 years old and he's still doing that. If you don't catch him, it's hard. And at 10 years old, I don't want to say go back to crate training. That's a tough one, Scott. Honestly, I'm trying to think of how to fix this. You got me stumped on this one. That's a hard one. But has he always done that, or is that something relatively new? See, by giving them the doggy door, then it never. That's my problem with doggy doors. It doesn't teach them how to really hold their bladder or bowel movements or whatever because they have free access. So I feel a little bit of pressure. I can get to go out right away. And at 10 years old to go back to crate training, I don't think it would be fair for an older dog. If you guys are working from home, what I would say to do is keep the dog in sight a little bit more. Lock the doggy door for now, and go back to some sort of routine. If you're working from home, keep the dog in the room where you're working or whatever, and every 2 to 3 hours, get up and let them out. You're with them. They're not going to make the mistake in that. He's not going to make that mistake in the room. And then slowly take that 2 to 3 hours, make it 3 to 4 hours, and try to see if that eliminates it. And then I, I'm not a big fan of doggy doors for a reason. Um, I understand the convenience for the human. I'm just not a big fan of them. I don't even like the magnet screen I got on my back door right now, because to me, when that's open, they just get in and out anytime they want, and they get used to it. I would try that. Maybe shut the doggy door. Don't give them access. If you guys are working from home right now, if you have that luxury, or if somebody's home with the dog, keep the dog with them and then set them up on a better schedule. Maybe get them to hold it a little longer. So start with 2 hours, go to 3 hours, go to 4 hours, go to 5 hours, and then eventually maybe go back to the doggy door and see if that stops. Give it a shot. It can't hurt at this point. I definitely wouldn't crate train at 10 years old. I wouldn't put a dog through that. I think that would be traumatizing. So Jennifer, I hope that made sense what I was saying about Braden with that growl. If he's growling and he's communicating, saying, "Hey, I'm not sure about this," well, if you stand there calmly, wait him out. When he's done, praise him for not growling, praise him for loosening up a little bit. If his body's still very tense, don't praise him, because remember, they can't keep the growl going for too long. Body language is going to be important. So if he's not growling, but he's still, like, you can break a 2x4 over his back, I may not praise him. But empathize with him. You understand where it's coming from, but don't humanize it. Don't say, "I know, Brandon, you were so severely abused, but we love you and we're never going to do that. You don't need to do that." Yeah, my daughter doesn't need to go through the anxiety attacks, but she does. Who am I to tell her she doesn't need to go through it? She needs to go through it to work out a process. It's her way of working out her processes. My job is to guide them through it. So if he's doing that to me, I'm going to guide him through it. Next time I come there, I will order the collar. I ordered the collar. It should be here Monday or Tuesday. I'll drop it off, and then when I get there, we'll start. He's going to have to deal with me a little bit more. I think the main reason I didn't let him deal with me so much is I think every time he got near me, you got a little nervous. But we'll change that up a little bit. And I got to ask the question, Scott. This is my cousin Scott, isn't it? If not, I'd be curious. So with that being said, guys, I'm almost at the hour mark. So we're going to try to wrap it up for tonight. And like I said, I appreciate everybody taking time out of their Wednesday evening. I apologize about being late to anybody that was here at 7:00. Wonderful world of computers, and that just kind of forced my hand, I think, to get a new computer at this point, because I'm kind of really annoyed that I was 7 minutes late to my own live chat, but that's okay. If there's no other questions, guys, as always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Anybody who's going to join me on Facebook Live Saturday morning at 11:00, I'm looking forward to talking to you then too. And until then, remember, guys, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. God bless, guys. Have a great evening.